Hey amazing hackers, this episode is sponsored by the Cybersecurity Hat, the ultimate hacking platform where you can learn in a fun and a practical way using exclusive frameworks that unlock amazing possibilities. In the description of this video, you will find all details for my special code on the Cybersecurity Hacked products. Just use R19 at checkout and enjoy. Hello everyone, I am Milton and welcome to R19.io podcast. Today is a very special moment because for the first time on this podcast we have a woman hacker as our guest. At the last time we met was when I had the honor to be a speaker at OWASP Leiria Meetup, an event she found and colleagues with passion. She is cyber threat hunter at Siemens Energy, founder and co-leader of OWASP Leiria, APISec Ambassador, and speak at big events like API Days, Rooted PT, DEFCON, and OWASP meetups. Please, I think that I don't forget nothing. But I really appreciate your time, Teresa, and welcome. Please let me know about your journey and things like that, please.
Yeah. Hi, Milton. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's an honor to be in here. Yeah, I have like many hats, let's say it like that. So after work, I have a lot of hats. I think you mentioned the big ones or the more like important ones. Well, about me, about myself. Well, I can say I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, computer engineering. I don't know how to translate it to English. And I mean, after that, after the bachelor's degree, I really wanted to join the market and to work and to learn more. So what I did was I sent my resume to a few companies here in Leiria, because I live in Leiria. For those that are listening to us, Leiria, it's basically in the center of Portugal. Probably you already heard the Leiria doesn't exist kind of thing. It's really funny. Haha. It does exist. It does exist.
Yeah, it's a big city. I really live in a small city. I live in Porto Alegre. It's not Porto Alegre. Porto Alegre, it's more bigger than I live in Fortius. It's really, really small.
Like smaller than Leiria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. But it's pretty big actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those who are listening to us, it's really close to Big Waves, Nazaré, and also the Factima Sanctuary. So we have a lot of important things in here around us. And like I was saying, I sent my resume to a few companies in here. Unfortunately, I didn't have any luck, so I decided to send some curriculums to Lisbon. And yeah, here I am. I'm working in Lisbon for the companies that are based in Lisbon for 4 or 5 years now, probably 5. And I started with IEFP internship. I'm not sure if the English
yes, I know.
people know what it is.
Yeah.
It's basically an internship where there's an institution behind that kind of like pays or gives some advantages to the company that is hiring you for the internship. So yeah, I started with one of those. It was, I think, 9 months or something like that. There is an article around the internet from Observador where I say that I don't like to program, or I didn't like to program during university. That's true, but I really wanted to learn more. I really loved like the logic behind the coding and all the line of thought that we needed to code, to create applications and to test as well. So yeah, I started with the internship. It was using Nintext. I'm not sure if it's a widely used tool. It's very similar to OutSystems, but it's not that powerful. It has less asteroids and muscles. So it's really, really simple. And at the time, I was learning. That's true. But after 6 months, I think I hit like a plateau. So I decided to send my curriculum to another companies. I started with medium companies in Lisbon as well. And then I have this like mantra thing, which is go big or go home. So I decided to send the curriculum to the big four companies. Um, so I sent to KPMG and Deloitte. I was accepted at both. And in here, I had like basically a decision to make. So for KPMG, I had cybersecurity, and for Deloitte, I had Salesforce. For those who are familiar with Salesforce, I mean, it's cool, but cybersecurity is cooler. So at the time, I decided to accept KPMG proposal. And I joined KPMG as a pen tester with no experience, no prior experience. Yeah, as a pen tester.
In the first time, like a pen tester, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it's really a good challenge in the first time. I think so.
Yeah, it's a pretty big challenge because during university you don't have, or at least here in Leiria, the bachelor's degree is pretty good, but you don't have, well, I'm lying, you have one subject regarding cybersecurity. And the only thing that they teach in there is cryptography. So you don't
Okay.
learn like pen test. You have like a full master's degree after that, but during the bachelor's degree, you don't have anything besides that. So at the time, I had a manager. He like teach me like a lot of things about pen test, about the basics. I had networking at the university, so I had a few like pillars on how these kind of things work, on how the internet works. And I think that's really, really important if you are in cybersecurity, if you work in cybersecurity. So he gave me some lights. And what I did back then, and even today, like nowadays, I do the same after work. So I work from 9 to 6 p.m., let's say it like that. And after work, what I do is I try to learn new things. So at the time, I went to TCM Security, TryHackMe, Hack the Box, and any other platforms that you have out there for cybersecurity. I learned as much as possible at the time. And yeah, it was really, really challenging.
Yeah.
But after 2 years, I think I was promoted to a senior consultant at KPMG. So I
Oh.
think, yeah, I think in the end they really liked me. So yeah, but after that, so right now, as you said, I work as a cyber threat hunter, nothing related to pen test. Well, you have some things that are
Yeah,
related to pen
and
test,
yeah,
but
and I really needed to know about more cyber threat hunting at, for example, and at Siemens Energy, and I think that leverage these things. Can you explain threat hunting works in practice and what your daily work looks like? Because uh, many people that sometimes listen or watching this podcast don't know nothing about cyber threat hunting, and then leverage this main topic. Can you explain that about how threat hunting works?
yes, yeah, of course. So threat hunting is kind of like, so you have a big umbrella, which we can call threat intelligence, and then we have threat hunting underneath that umbrella. And basically, for it's really like I'll try to explain it in an easy way, but in a day-to-day basis, it's really like complex, because we do a lot of different things. So
Yeah.
basically, one of the like basics that we do like every day. So you have, I don't know, bleeping computer, you have cybersecurity news, you have a lot of magazines that every day you have news about vulnerabilities, about APTs, about I don't know, latest trends that they are using to attack, I don't know, companies in the energy sector, in the telecommunication sector, in the healthcare sector, blah, blah. You have tons of news every day. So one of the things that we do is we go through each one of those articles every day. We select a few that we think are interested for our case, and you have a lot of things in those articles. Of course, it depends on the research that was done before, but you have what we call IOCs, or indicators of compromise, which is basically the digital footprint that the attacker leaves behind. And this can be IPs, IP addresses, domains. It can be hashes for file names. It can be digital signatures. It can be like a lot of things. So what we do is we kind of search for those IOCs in our environment in order to see if we have any hits or not. So that's really like the basics of what we do in threat hunting. After that, we search for the TTPs, which are basically the tactics, techniques, and procedures, which is what they use, or the ways that they attacked, or they use in a day-to-day basis on their business. I think we can call it a business, because for some of them it really is a business. So we analyze all of that, and based on that we do again searches in our environment, and hopefully we can, or we cannot, it really depends on the case, create what we call a detection rule, which is basically a rule that every time that specific thing happens in your systems, in your environment, you'll have an alert, a detection, and then you'll have analysts that will look at it and analyze and reach out to the users if necessary, or it's, in some cases, it really depends on the tool that you are using, on the case. You can also say that when it finds that kind of activity or behavior, it is blocked right away, or the process is killed. So that's basically
It's
the basics.
yeah, it's not basic for all of that, because it's
Yeah.
really have many things. Okay, um, and if you stop to think, your job can help another team. It's like security operation centers and things like that can use case that you find, um, okay, to help another teams, and this is really interesting.
Yeah.
And you have two strong skills with API security. And what are the most common API mistake you see when you testing real systems? Yeah, this question, it's really interesting, because you have here, okay, and the last question was about, okay, how you see threat hunting, and right now, uh, how you see right now API testing, how you can see, how you see the common mistakes that uh, developers and, okay, things like that. How you see this world? Can you describe? Can you explain? Because uh, and here it's free to talk really, and you can go deeper there, because I know that you have a strong skills with API security.
Yes. I mean, I see a lot of common mistakes that developers and even other people do. So I think one of the mistakes that developers do nowadays, and not only related to APIs, is you have a framework, right? So a lot of them, they think, okay, this framework already have inbuilt security, so I will not bother to add more security on top of that, because this one already have the basics.
Okay.
And I see that like happening a lot. I have some colleagues that work in as software developers, and I don't see security as a top priority in there. Of course, that depends on the company. It really depends on the processes. It depends on a lot of things. When it comes to APIs, I think nowadays APIs are kind of like a hot topic. When I
Mhm.
started working with API security testing like 3 years ago or something like that. And when I talked about APIs, my colleagues were like, "Oh, why APIs? Like, what is
Yeah.
that?" And the truth is, like, 80% of internet are APIs. So when you go to
Yeah.
your banking app, it's APIs behind. When you go to, I don't know, any website out there, you have APIs behind. So they are kind of like the backbone of modern applications. I think we can say it like that. And despite like APIs being like a hot topic today, I think that they are kind of like when you secure an application, the first thing or one of the things that you see are not the APIs, right?
Okay.
They are kind of, and it's a really complicated topic because you can have the API when you go, I don't know, you go to a website, you open the dev tools and you see the network traffic, right? For some websites, you can like see crystal clear the requests to the API. But in other cases, what you have is kind of like a WebSocket. So the application is actually making requests to an API, but you have like a wrapper in there and you can't see the request. And in some cases, you don't bother because, oh, there's not an API in here, and you don't test it at all. So I think it's like an overlooked thing still. I hope that in the future, developers, I hope they are more careful when building APIs, and also security teams, when you have like a pen testing assessment, you ask for like when you are defining the scope or something like that, if you ask like, do you have any APIs that you want us to test or something like that? I think that's really, really important. Another thing is when security teams are testing applications, please, when you are doing fuzzing, please check for APIs in the file path, for example. Okay, I know that probably a lot of you use, I don't know, the default tools out there for fuzzing. One thing that I really highly recommend is test it manually. Okay, and nowadays you
Yeah.
have other tools that you can, like GitHub. You can go to GitHub or even Google it and say API reconnaissance web application. Probably you'll see a ton of tools out there that will help with this. I highly recommend it to do it manually, of course. So, but back to the topic, the mistakes that I see nowadays. So that's another one. I think they are still very like overlooked when compared to, I don't know, web applications, mobile applications, and other stuff, and AI, of course. And another interesting thing, AI, its APIs behind.
Yeah, yeah. This one thing that is probably will be my next question for you. You think that AI right now can help developers, okay, to okay create, uh, it's like, let me see, create more levels to improve their security? Do you think that AI can help, or it's no much? What do you think about that? Because AI, okay, can help you, but I remember that in the last, I don't remember now, but I already in the past I watched one conference that I watched about, let me remember what Macality. Let me remember now. So yeah, it's basically you have a prompt that you just send comments, and this platform basically give you one application. It's almost okay in the same time. I'm trying right now to remember the name of this application of this, but I really forget right now. I don't know if you remember, but
I don't think
um,
so. I don't remember. Is that like a
uh,
specific
yeah,
application? using ChatGPT,
vibe coding. Yeah,
oh,
vibe
the
coding.
concept. Okay,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
concept
Yeah, exactly.
itself.
Yeah, the
Okay,
concept it's vibe coding.
yeah.
Yeah, because yes, the main reason here of my question is okay. AI can help you, but if you look for things like vibe code concept, you can see, for example, many people developing developing softwares, APIs, and things like that, just use prompts. And then, okay, this is sometimes create the false sensation that, okay, my application, it's work, but yeah. And then my questions for you is, do you think that AI really can help developers or maybe not?
I think so. And I was I was in a podcast the other day with Tiago from Hacking Natuga, something like that, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about that. I think when you are using AI and not just as a developer but as a common user in general, let's say it like that. But now we are talking about developers. I think AI will help you, but you need to have critical thinking and you need to understand what you are asking the AI to provide you or to give you and what's the actual result that the AI is giving you. And we were discussing, and I think Tiago, he was the one that shared this story. There was this case where the developer asked for a specific code and the response from the AI tool was the code that he asked for, but it had a critical vulnerability in there. So I think that it can help developers, but they need to understand and read what's in there and test it like really well, not only looking at the code. Um, I think they need to have more critical thinking than before. I think that right now we live in an era where AI kind of like eases things for you, for everybody like out there. But I think that more than ever you need to think twice and confirm twice before copying things or before doing things.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really agree with that. And thank you for this insight. It's really, really interesting to hear about that. And you created the TryHackMe runs called vulnerability chaining. It's right, okay?
Yes.
And was really interesting because uh, why is chaining small bugs into one of big attacks so powerful for attackers? What do you think about that? This when I listened about that, okay, she created what runs called vulnerability chaining. I
Yes.
really needed to know about that.
Yeah, so basically, there was this one day I was at home and I was like, what should I do next? Because I really like to do things after work. And I was like, why not creating a Try Hack Me room? And well, I have an account. I was doing a streak at the time. And I saw that there was the option to create a room. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I started creating the room. At the end, I had no idea, but the kind of room that I created, it was a walkthrough. So I created it as like kind of it's public, but it's
Okay.
not publicly available on the TryHackMe platform. So you need the exact URL to go to the room. But anyway, the room itself, it's based on a real vulnerability that I found a few years ago, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
real critical one. So I'll try to recall it and like explaining in here. Basically, we had this client at the time I worked for a consulting company. They asked us for a pen test, a regular pen test. And while I was doing fuzzing, reconnaissance, subdomains,
Mm-hmm.
domains discovery, I discovered the CRM tool that they used at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some investigation in there. I saw that it was possible to create an account And that's the number one mistake when you have a CRM application exposed to the internet. If it's not necessary, don't provide the create account feature. That's one of the mistakes that they had at the time. So basically what I did was I created an account in there, right? I intercepted the traffic, and when I intercepted the traffic, I was able to see like crystal clear the requests to the API. So I used Burp Suite Postman to see the requests. I checked almost every request that they had for the API without documentation, of course. I tried to escalate privileges in order to be an admin in there to see if I could, I don't know, see any information regarding clients of that client that hired us at the time. And I was there for, I don't know, 2-3 days. And I was like, come on, I know there's something in here. You know, when you have that feeling, I know there's something in here. Why can't
this happen all the time with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, this happens all the time.
I bet. But it really depends. At the time I was like, I know there's something in here. And it was like a strong feeling. So there was this Monday morning, I think, I went to the office. And when we go to the office, we don't work like a lot, especially if you work from home like 90% of the time. So it's like that time of the week where you I don't know, go with your colleagues to the cafe or have lunch together and talk about life in general or work or whatever. But in that day, it was like, it's today. I need to find something today. So what I did was I decided to go to another website and test another website. And one of the things that when I go to websites, we have a lot of things in there. I highly recommend all the testers to go to contact forms. And I mean, in that case, it made a lot of sense, because if you have a CRM tool, it means that at some point that information comes from a form somewhere.
Yeah.
So I went to one of their main websites. I went to the contact form. I entered the test data in there. I intercepted the traffic. And when I intercepted the traffic and went to Pub Suite, I saw that they were sending a header with credentials in base 64.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So basically, I went to the decoder in Pub Suite. I decoded that, and they were admin credentials. So what's the possibility for those credentials to work in the CRM API that I discovered before? Because the header was exactly the same. Base 64, same header. So basically, I copied the credentials encoded from one place to another, and it worked. I had access to more than 60,000 requests from clients.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a big vulnerability.
This is really a big vulnerability, and this sounds like a bug-bound environment.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was a real one. It was a production environment, and that's the reason why I created the room in the first place. I have a lot of colleagues that work in cybersecurity as pen tester. I have a lot of developers, and typically people tend to see like a vulnerability as an isolated thing. In some cases, when you have critical vulnerabilities, you have like a chain of events that happened before. So in this case, we had the create account that was possible in there. So that I think I can count that one as probably a vulnerability or an info, something like that. Then we had the base 64 credentials being sent in the header, like crystal clear in there with no encryption at all. And then the third one was so the credentials worked on the other website, on the CRM website.
And what you thought in this time when you found this vulnerability? What was your first think about?
I was like, jackpot, you know. I know I had something in here, and I really had something in here. So I showed the vulnerability to my manager at the time, And he was like, oh my God, this is huge. We need to tell the client right away. And we contacted the clients, and they're like, and typically, if you work in consulting, you have two types of clients. You have those clients when you find something critical or high or whatever, they are kind of, pissed off at you because you found that. Or you have the ones that are really happy for you because you found something really critical. That client, they were really nice. They were really nice. And they were really, really happy that we found that at the time. Because imagine that if a real hacker, if they followed the same line as me and they had access to all of those tickets. Oh, and I forgot to mention, like the tickets in there, and I'm not judging people in general, but when we open, I don't know, a ticket for the finance part, right? Or to, I don't know, create a new citizen card or something like that. You tend to give more information that needed because you think you need to authenticate yourself in there. And sometimes you give away your social security number, your full name, your address. So I had those kind of things in there, plus
many PII
receipts,
informations. Oh
plus
my goodness.
like a lot of like critical stuff that you could use for impersonation, for phishing attacks, for social engineering attacks in general. So it was like a big, big thing. And every day, the number of requests of number of API data that we had access, it was increasing. So it was like a real-time thing that was in there. And they had no idea that we were able to enter in there and that we were able to see all of those information, all of that information.
Really, really, okay, let me say, and I'm sorry for that, but this is really, really fucking amazing.
Thank you.
And okay, and at KPMG you did phishing campaigns.
Yes.
What is the most, okay, let me say, surprising or funny reaction you got from okay, a target during social engineer testing? Can you, I don't know if you can talk about, but
Yeah, I can talk about it. I actually, so as you mentioned in the beginning, I speak in a lot of conferences. So there was this point of time, and probably also related to DEFCON, that I had to send an email to KPMG asking if I could mention a few things from when I worked in there. And since I don't reveal any client/project information, it's all okay. So I can tell you a few stories. Yeah, I had not while doing fishing, but probably while I was doing fishing. I had a few fun stories I can tell you. So we had this client, and they had like people working in the offices, and they also had people working in factories. And when you are doing social engineering, or when you work in cybersecurity and you are doing some kind of assessment, but I think more for social engineering, you think that people that are technical and not so technical, you think that the non-technical people are the ones that are falling for it first. So this one, at the time I had to call 20 people, 25 people for the assessment. I was only one, and at the time I didn't use AI to do that kind of stuff. So I had a list. I was not the one picking up the targets. It was the client that really sent us the list with all the targets and the numbers, the phone numbers. So from our side, we just needed to create the pretexts and call the people. So there was this guy from cybersecurity, and guess what? My pretext was, I'm from the cybersecurity department. And I was like, when I saw that the guy was from cybersecurity, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Never in my life I'll be able to guide him to a website, because the goal was to guide them to a website and they needed to enter the corporate credentials in there. So I was like, hi, my name is Teresa, because we needed to use our real name. My name is Teresa. I'm from the cybersecurity department. Well, my manager, person X, told me to do this. we received an alert saying that you are accessing or going to a malicious URL, blah, 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 or it really depended on the scenario. I think for him it was the reset password scenario. So it was something like that. We received an alert and I really need you to like reset your password like right away. Because if you don't do it now, Microsoft will block your account and we are not able to do anything on our side. And in here, I used fear. Of course, I used urgency again, and I was able I also used sympathy, I think, in a way. And
Yeah.
the guy was like, okay, what's the URL? And at the time, I created a typo squatted domain. It was pretty close to the real one. I was like, yeah, you need to go to www dot something,
Oh
using
my
the phone.
goodness.
And the guy, he entered the URL in the Google search and entered the credentials as well. And after entering the credentials in there, we received like an alert because I had the database open for the credentials. So I knew exactly if he entered the credentials or not. And in the end, it popped up a PDF file for him saying, oh, you are part of a simulation. And when he saw the PDF, he was like, oh, no, not again. And I was like, not again.
Not again?
What are you saying? Not again. What do you mean? And then that's one of the advantages of building trust and that's why I talk so much about trust and other people that do phishing calls. The guy was trusting me. He saw that it was a simulation, it was a phishing call. And anyway, he decided to share more information with me. So he was like, oh yeah, last year I fell for it as well.
Oh, okay.
So he was very
Let me
kind.
leverage this vision and let me disclosure more thing here. It's
Yeah,
easy. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, that was another one. And then I had a very interesting one with a person from a factory. So I called, it was a lady. I called her and for that one, I used phishing and vishing. So the pretext was something like, oh, Microsoft detected that you accessed this website and they sent us an email. So in order for them to confirm it's really you, like now, I need you to, I'll send you the email that they sent us, and I need you to click on the confirm identity, and you need to enter your credentials in there. Of course, the page for the credentials was like a kind of a mirror of the Microsoft page. The only difference was they had the email and the password in the same page. And it also asked, in some cases, for the MFA code. So I was like, yeah, Microsoft sent us this. I will send you the email and I need you to click in there. And I sent her the email. It was like, I don't know if you remember, but we have the safety browsing from Google. It exists since 2000 and something, early 2000, something like that. But there was like a few years ago, they decided to be more strict on it. So at the time, every domain or type of squatted domain that I created, or that it had, I don't know, a Microsoft page or a mirror like website, pretty close to a real one, Google and Microsoft, they were checking really, really close. And they basically what they did at the time, they showed you the red screen saying, careful phishing,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when they started like being more strict.
People ignoring, okay, I accept this.
Yes.
This danger information. Go there.
A lot, yeah. A lot of people really do that. And I mean, that lady, when she opened the link from the email, she saw the red screen. And the first thought as a human being when you see red is stop. That's why the stop signs are red. So you shouldn't go or shouldn't move forward from there. So when the lady saw red screen and all the phishing, and it was in English at the time, and the lady was like, oh, I have like a red screen in here and it's saying some things. And I understood that she didn't know English at all. So I used that as my advantage. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's just a warning. You can like click on continue to the safety browser or something like that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
exactly remember the word. And she clicked in there and she entered the credentials. So I mean, that's another it's not
Yeah.
a mistake. It's not the organization's fault.
Mm-hmm.
At some until some point, of course, that if you do security awareness trainings and you include
Yeah.
phishing, you should include the English part as well, because it's a really important language nowadays. Of course, that it was a Portuguese company, but you need to be aware that your employees, maybe they don't know English. So, and
Yeah.
English is one
This
of the, yeah,
it's really insightful there because
yeah,
okay, many people know that I'm from Brazil. I live here in Portugal for about 3 years. And if you try to do that the same in Brazil, okay, you can do that because the most part of people there don't speak English. It's really okay. This is depends on the country, but it's really really important so that people okay in 2025 with many risks and all the place, you really need to combine awareness with English and with you because okay uh, sometimes company just look for technology, put technology and just thinking technology and forget that people use technology and people need to use technology and need to communicate in another language. And okay, this is really really insightful. And you have tested already banks, pharma industry. Which, in your opinion, sector do you think it's doing security better, and which one is still behind, in your opinion? Because you have tested many type of okay sectors, let me say.
yeah. That's a tricky question because you have different factors in game actually. Uh, so security, it's kind of like subjective. It really
Mm-hmm.
depends on the person that you ask about security or the company. Um, so I know a lot of companies that belong to the same sector, but for them,
Mm-hmm.
security is different. So I mean, security in general, of course, that you have, for example, the banks. Now you have the Tiber, I don't know how to pronounce it
Mm-hmm.
in English, but it's basically like it's not a law, it's not a regulation, it's not a requirement, but it's good for you to do like red team assessments every year. And you have like not only the pen test or the red team in there involved, you have also the threat intelligence team, and it's not fully black box. You have also a white team inside the client's company. So I know that in Portugal we have the Portugal Bank of Portugal, kind
Mm-hmm.
of like saying that it's good for you to do that every year. So I think banks probably are part of the most like or that because it's really hard to say that they are more secure
Yeah,
or
I
less
know that.
secure, you
Yeah,
know.
yes,
But
depends of the businesses. Yes, I know.
yes, yeah. I mean, and what's security for them? That's another thing, because nowadays you have, of course, that you have internally, the organization internally, and that's one thing that they need to protect. But what about their clients? And nowadays we see a lot of smishing messages,
Mm-hmm.
text messages. We see a
Yeah.
lot of phishing calls, and it's really hard for them. That's part of their security, I think, in my opinion, because it's their clients in the end. So I think it's really hard for them to do that kind of awareness for the clients. I receive like every day, and today I received a message from Santander, like
Mm-hmm.
impersonating Santander,
Mm-hmm.
saying that you had like, I don't know, a doubt or update. I don't remember. I think I posted it on the stories on my
Mm-hmm.
my Instagram profile, And I mean, the name that appears, in some cases you have the number that appears, the like who sent the message. In that
Yeah.
case, you had Santander has a name. And that's one of the tricks that social engineers use to gain your trust. When you see a name that you know, probably you're going to fall for it. You're going to click the URL.
Yeah, but you like attacker, can you pay for that? You can pay for,
yes.
okay, you can just contract one. It's like you can use it, like you said before, you can use this type of technique to, okay, to deliver is a mission and things like that. But many people don't know that you can pay for that.
Yeah, you can pay for that, and it's like in some cases €1 or less than that. So it's not that expensive. And then we also have the phishing calls. I saw a lot, and I was involved in some projects where they were like there was an ongoing phishing campaign from the attackers, like impersonating that specific client. And there was this one project I remember like clearly. I was at the gym. It was like 8-9 p.m. in the night, and I was at the gym, and I received a call, and the name that appeared, it was the name from that client, and I was like, why are they calling me at this hour? Like, it's really weird. And it was actually from support, customer support. And when I picked up the call, it was so convincing, the call was so convincing. The script that they used was exactly the one that this company uses for the customers, for the customer support, when you call them or when they call you. They kind of like impersonate the whole company. And they also did the spoofing, which is basically when you use a phone number. And for example, if I call you, instead of appearing, I don't know, my name, it appears, I don't know, name of a person that you know, or I don't know, like Trump, for example. Let's use that example. Probably not the best one, but so that people understand. So it instead of my name or my number, it appears another person's name. And you don't actually own the number. You are just using a mask to kind of disguise the call. So that's one of the layers of trust, when you see that the call is coming from that person, or the text message is coming from that person. And when it comes to, for example, banks, it's really hard for them to train customers on how to be safe, on how to identify that's a phishing call, that's a smishing message. One of the things that I recommend, like in general, not only for banks, but for phishing in general, if they are calling you from that specific place, I mean, all of us, we have a sixth sense. So if they are asking for too much information, if they are asking for, I'm not saying sensitive information, because in some cases they don't ask for that. In other cases they do. It really depends on the pretext. But if they ask you for sensitive, confidential information, if they ask you for personal details, okay, please just hang up and call to the number that called you. If it's an organization, just go to the internet and use that number.
This technique was used against, I'm trying to remember now what is called. Okay, let me see. While you are talking about, let me see if I, it's one spoofing technique, but have one specifically a name. That's okay. Let me remember that. Yeah, I really forget, but this is okay. I will share with you one article that talk specifically this spoofing against one person from the government from Brazil. Okay, but I really forget right now what this the name of this specifically technique. Yeah, it's okay. Behind this is one spoofing technique, but
You have
it's
also the seam
you
swapping, but
basically,
that's another technique.
yeah, basically you can change the color ID, you know, and basically, like you said, you basically just change the color number or the color name, and people when receive this call, okay, trust in the same time, okay, because okay, I receive a call from, okay, KPMG or Santander or kind of,
Mm-hmm.
okay, things like that. And then, yeah, usually, like you said, you need to check and you need to pay attention, because okay, if you are distracted with another things,
Yeah,
for example, like in a gym or doing another things, you really can fail in that. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's really interesting. And okay, I listen about that were named API security person of year in
Yeah.
2024. Yeah.
Yes.
What did this word mean to you, and how do you see the future of API security? Guys,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that guys that don't know Teresa, she is really brilliant, and she have
Thank you.
many words behind her. And let me know about that. I'm really excited to know about that.
Yeah. So, well, I can tell you how it all started. So, I worked for KPMG, like we mentioned before, and there was this client. They wanted, in specific, an API pen testing. And at the time, my team was really small. So it was basically me, my
Mm-hmm.
manager, and another person. And I was kind of like the chosen one to do the API pen testing. I knew how to do web pen testing. I knew how to do some part mobile pen testing, infrastructure pen testing, but API pen testing, it's different. So at the time, I tried to find resources online. I Googled like a lot. I did a few courses. I know that the other day you had XX Rat in here. I
Yeah,
think I did a course from him at the time as well. It was really
yeah,
cool about the OWASP API Top 10.
yeah.
And then I found APISec University. So
Mm-hmm.
they were founded in that year. It was 2022, and they were founded in 2022. I think it was mid of the year, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this course, a 12-hour course from Corey. So Corey, it's a big name
Mm-hmm.
in the API industry, API security
Mm-hmm.
industry. And I was like, okay, this looks really cool. I completed the course. I understood how to do API pen testing. And at the time I did the pen testing to the client, they were really happy with the findings. It went really well. The report, it was awesome. At the time, I was the only one doing pen testing for clients at KPMG.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of the things, if you already did pen testing to APIs, you don't have only one API or one endpoint, you have tons of them. So you
Yeah.
need to first discover or use it as designed to understand how it works in order to do the pen test after that. And it takes you a lot of time. And in consulting, you don't have a lot of time. You need
Mm-hmm.
everything for today or for yesterday. So I kind of like asked my manager at the time if we could like test one of the scanners that APISec University had at the time. Um, and they were like, yeah, sure. So I was able to schedule a few sessions with them between KPMG and Dan. And on the second session, Dan, which is one of the co-founders alongside Corey, he was like, hey, Teresa, we have this conference in Paris called API Days, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a side conference in there. And would you be interested in giving a talk in there? And at the time, I was like, me? Like, I'm a
Sure.
newbie in here. I'm like, do you think that I have something to add in here? And I mean, I talked to a few friends, I talked to my mother, and in the end, I was like, yeah, maybe really have something to add. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that was my first conference ever in Paris, APISec Paris 2023 in December. And after that, I kind of built this like a relationship, with Corey, with APISec University, with Dan, and I met, I think it was, yeah, I met Corey and Dan in Paris that year. Yeah, I think so. So
Okay.
they are from the United States and I'm from Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I met him in Paris. We start like exchanging some messages on LinkedIn. Then I had Happy Days London in 2024, and at the time I completed all the courses that they had available in the website. I was an ambassador already for them, and I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like spreading the word in the conferences that I had here in Portugal and also at Happy Days Paris and London. And in there, I met Corey and I did a presentation on how to do API pen testing, like all the basics, all the process that I follow since the reconnaissance until like the reporting phase, which is really, really important. And Corey was like, "Oh, if you want to create a course for us, we'll be more than happy to have a course from
Oh.
you." And I was like, "Really?" So yeah, I created a course for them last year. For those who are listening to us, it's called Getting Started in API Pen Testing. So it's basically a blueprint on how you can successfully like manage and perform an API assessment from the beginning until the end. It's not a practical course, it's more of a theoretical one. So it's only 1 hour. And after that, I had several contributions with them. They have this API scanner, like I mentioned. They did some improvements, so they also asked me to kind of like review the scan, give my opinion about it. They are really like community focused, which is an amazing thing. So everything that comes from the community, they really listen to it and they kind of like implement the things that the community needs. And I think that's what makes sense nowadays. So yeah, in December, I knew that they had the APISec award for Person of the Year. And you had two categories or two ways of choosing people. I don't know how to call it, but you had a
Mm-hmm.
person that was the public from LinkedIn. They
Mm-hmm.
were the ones that were able to choose that person, and then you had the other person from it was the APISec University board,
Mm-hmm.
selecting that person. And I mean, you have a lot of amazing people out there when it comes to API security. You have Corey, which is the co-founder. You have Dan. You have a Dr. Katie Paxton Fear. You have a lot of people that are really like brilliant and genius, and
Yeah,
they,
I'm really proud. I'm really proud because a woman to do all of that, it's really
yeah,
amazing. It's
thank
really
you,
I'm really proud.
thank you,
Honestly, this is not happen all the time, and I'm really proud. And this is really a good job. And do you
thank you,
also mentor and support others in the field? And uh, what
kind of, yeah.
advice would you give to the people starting their journey in cybersecurity and pen testing?
Yes. Yeah, I mentor a few people, not like it's not like a settled thing. Sometimes they reach out to me on LinkedIn and I just give my advice on it, or I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like schedule sessions with them. I also have OWASP Leiria. I think we
Mm-hmm.
can see that as a mentorship also.
Yeah.
When people ask me what like typically they ask what certification should I have to enter
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity, and the first thing that I tell them is to enter cybersecurity, like you can have a lot of certifications. I don't think that certifications are like translated to knowledge. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people that have amazing certifications, and in reality, they know nothing about it. They don't know how to do a pen test from the beginning until the end. So basically, what I say to those people is, do you know networking? Like how the
Mm-hmm.
internet really works? That's one of the things. And the other thing is, you need to be willing to learn new things, to spend some of your personal time if you want to really have success in this area. And you need to be determined. You have basically, it's soft skills in the end, because I think that if you have the correct soft skills, you can learn all the technical stuff. Of course,
Yeah.
that if you have like a bachelor's degree or something, or a course in computer engineering, computer science, or something that's related to computer engineering in general, that's a good thing, and I highly recommend people to have a course on that, or a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever. But if you know about networking and you have a certain soft skills, that's the way to enter cybersecurity, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. It's really another great site. And let's look to the future with AI, automation, and new attack surface. What do you think will be the main challenges for threat hunters and red teamers? I asked for threat hunters because of you, and
Yes.
red teamers. What do you think that will be the main challengers with AI and automation right now?
I think it's more like of transversal thing. I mean, I work in threat hunting during the day, and I do all the other stuff, OWASP Leiria, the API security stuff. I mean, the DEFCON, phishing, social engineering in
Mm-hmm.
general, it's after work hours. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that in general, and probably more about social engineering, I think one of the biggest challenges will be the deep fakes. And for those who are listening to us and don't know what the deepfake is, it's basically when you use someone's audio or voice or images to do social engineering attacks. And that's really hard, first to detect, and second to
Mm-hmm.
create awareness on the other side, because that's probably AI is really good. It can help us a lot, but I think in a way it can also destroy us. And I think people need to be again more critical, um, and not trust everything that you see or hear. And that's like another topic, maybe for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But AI, two of the biggest challenges that AI is bringing us when it comes to social engineering is it gives you more credibility, because
Yeah.
if you hear a voice from your mother, for example, or a friend, you are willing to give them all the information they ask for. And if you have a video, you know that person. So it's a real person, right? Probably in the
Yeah.
end, it's not a real person, it's a deep fake. That's one thing, credibility. And the second one is uh, you are able to scale the attacks, because again, I was calling 20 people, right? With AI, you can call 100 people without having
Yeah.
any,
For
like,
sure.
yeah, any
Yeah.
work. So it's really, really easy to um, escalate these campaigns, these attacks, and it's really hard even for the companies to detect it. And you have a pretty good example. I think it was known before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I think it was them. I think so. So they
Mm-hmm.
hired this person, and in the end, it was a deep fake. That person was kind
Mm-hmm.
of like impersonating another one. And if for them it was really hard to detect, and again, companies do background checks. So if you can
Yeah.
like impersonate like fully a person, uh, what else you can do in the future with AI? And I think that more than ever, organizations and people need to be more critical, confirm before giving away any information, confirm before doing some action. Like it can be any action. Sometimes people or attackers just call you to gather information. They don't call you to attack you, because sometimes you are not. the final target. You're just in the middle of the way, and I need you to do something. Chaining, vulnerability chaining that we were talking before. So I think that organizations need to be more aware and include in the security awareness trainings the deepfakes part, the phishing part, because I know that a lot of organizations have security awareness, but they only mention phishing. And you have that basics, oh, please don't click in here, check the domain, check the URL, blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, these attacks are more sophisticated. It's not that easy to identify. So I think they need to englobe and include all of that. And more importantly, hire other companies to do that kind of tests, deepfake tests, phishing tests, because people, and I had this feedback before while I was doing phishing calls, people sometimes they work in finance, they work for HR, they don't work in cybersecurity, they don't care at some point if they need to do that. It's not their job, like they say, they have other things to do. So in the end of the day, if you do that kind of test, I think it's more benefic for them and they learn more than looking at a PowerPoint presentation or I don't know, other types of security training. It really depends on the organization.
Yeah, and attackers know about that and leverage all the questions. Teresa, I'm really, really proud for this episode. This was amazing and historic episode. At the first woman on this podcast, your journey and working show how is important diversity is in cybersecurity. Really, really thank you for inspiring us with your knowledge and your story. And to everyone listen or watching this episode, stay curious, keep learning, and see you in next episode. Teresa, please say something to our audience.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you again for the invitation, and thank you for guys for listening to us or for watching us. It was really amazing, and I think we mentioned and spoke a lot about a lot of important things in here. And I mean, I hope that I was able to introduce new views that probably people never think of before. I mean, that's one of my goals after work hours and also during work hours, but it's like giving people other views that probably they never saw before or never think of before, and share knowledge. So that's probably, I think that's my mission, like in the world, sharing. So thank you.
And thank you for that. I really appreciate your time. And like I say all the time, this house is your house too. And I hope see you here again and see you next time.
Yep. Thank you. Bye. See ya.
Bye. See ya.